How long would Nami's prison sentence be? If being a pirate is a crime, then Nami's record is basically a treasure map of felonies. She might be the heart of the Straw Hat crew, but let's not forget, our orange-haired cartographer is far from innocent, with a rap sheet longer than one of her detailed sea charts. Nami has committed everything from petty theft to grand larceny, conspiracy, and fraud across several nations. And if she ever ended up in a real-world courtroom, well, let's just say that an orange jumpsuit would match her hair a little too well. So buckle in, because today we're diving into how long Nami's prison sentence would be if she were judged by real-world laws. Spoiler alert, she's not just a cute thief with a tragic backstory. She's basically the Bernie Madoff of the Grand Line. But first, before we drop anchor at the courthouse, let's take a look at her criminal origin history. From the moment we meet Nami in episode 1, she's already deep into her double life. On the surface, she's just a skilled navigator and a thief targeting pirates. But underneath, she's running a con so elaborate it'd make Ocean's 11 jealous. Working under the nose of Arlong, one of the East Blue's most brutal fishermen, she steals treasure for him while secretly amassing 100 million berries to buy back her village. Noble? Sure. Legal? Absolutely not. We're talking about multiple counts of grand theft here. Let's say she stole at least 50 pirate crews over 8 years, conservatively estimating 2 million berries per heist. In US legal terms, that's grand larceny in every state, multiplied by 50. Depending on the jurisdiction, each count of grand larceny could get her anywhere from 5 to 25 years. Multiply that by 50 and you're looking at a maximum of 1,250 years in prison. That's right, Nami might outlive the One Piece itself before she finishes that sentence. But wait, this isn't just about stealing treasure. Nami didn't just take money. She lied, cheated, and forged her way across the seas. That's fraud, baby. Let's revisit episode 8. Nami tricks Buggy the Clown by pretending to defect and offering him Luffy's head on a silver platter. She steals his map and cannon, detonates his base, and gets out clean. That's fraud and sabotage with malicious intent. If this were the real world, she'd be staring down charges of criminal mischief and corporate espionage. At least 3 to 5 years for fraud and up to 10 more for destruction of property, depending on the jurisdiction. Oh, and remember, she tricks Zoro into thinking she's just a bystander, then steals the treasure while he's fighting Buggy's crew? That's aiding and abetting via deception. She let Zoro take the heat while she walks off with the goods. Not only is that morally gray, it's legally damning. And don't even get me started on her long-running scams throughout the East Blue arc. The woman is basically a professional con artist. By the time we reach the Arlong Park arc, Nami's criminal enterprise kicks into high gear. She's been working under duress, yes, but that doesn't erase the mountain of crimes committed in the process. She embezzled money from Arlong, yeah, it was for her village, but the law rarely cares about noble motivations when you're stealing millions. And let's be clear, this wasn't a one-time Robin Hood gig. This was systematic, long-term financial manipulation. Also consider the attempted murder charge. In episode 36, Nami stabs Usopp, or appears to, even though it's later revealed as a ruse. At the moment, it fits the criteria for assault with a deadly weapon. In the real world, that can get you anywhere from 5 to 10 years, depending on injuries and intent. Since Usopp faked his death, the crime technically failed, but attempted murder is still very much a chargeable offense. And let's not overlook the bribery she's undoubtedly committed along the way. Bribing Marines, sneaking into checkpoints, or convincing local officials to look the other way. Yeah, that's a federal offense. Real-life penalties for bribery can go up to 15 years per count. So stack on at least another 30 years if we assume she's done it twice, which is a generous estimate. But hold on, it gets even worse. Let's talk about the time Nami knowingly smuggled contraband across kingdom borders. That's right, during the Alabasta arc, when she's carrying sensitive supplies, stolen intel, and potentially illegal items into a war-torn kingdom. You think customs is just gonna wave that through? That's smuggling. And in the real world, smuggling goods into a volatile region can lead to 10 to 20 years in prison, especially if it's tied to insurgent groups like Baroque Works. And she wasn't just delivering fruit baskets and hugs, she was bringing war supplies to a rebel princess. In legal terms, that's material support support of an insurrectionist faction. In US law, that could be considered treason adjacent if done internationally. She'd be tried not just as a smuggler, but as a potential threat to national security. That adds another 25 years minimum, and if the court was in a particularly bad mood, life sentence territory. Still not convinced? Let's talk about identity theft. Yes, identity theft, because Nami has impersonated officials, soldiers, and even royalty to manipulate her way through enemy lines. She pretends to be a Marine officer to steal intel and resources. That's impersonating a federal agent in real-world terms. In the US, that alone can get her 3 years per offense, but combined with theft and fraud, it can go up to 10 years per impersonation, and she's done it more than once. Now imagine trying that at a UN naval base. Good luck explaining your way out of that in court. Then there's the international part. Nami's crimes aren't limited to one country or island. They span multiple kingdoms. That means she's committed war crimes across international waters and sovereign nations. Real-world equivalent, Interpol would be on her ass. Cross-border theft and fraud, that brings in extradition laws and potentially even terrorist charges if she's seen as destabilizing governments. Remember how she helped overthrow the Arlong regime in Kokoyashi village? And while we're at it, Nami is technically a war criminal. Hear me out. She's a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, an internationally wanted crew responsible for everything from sinking government ships, like where they declare war on the world government at Enies lobby. Breaking into highly secure locations like Impel Down, and even if she didn't commit those crimes personally, by affiliation alone, she's guilty of conspiracy and aiding and abetting. That's another 25 years minimum in a maximum security prison. You thought tax evasion was bad? Try declaring war on the world government. Alright, so let's tally it up. 50 counts of grand larceny, up to 1,250 years. Multiple counts of fraud and forgery, 15 years. Destruction of property, 10 years. Attempted murder, 10 years. Bribery and corruption, 30 years. International conspiracy, 25 years. Affiliation with a terrorist group, from the government's point of view, life imprisonment or death penalty. Smuggling contraband across the borders, 25 years. Impersonating government officials, or at least 2 confirmed instances, 20 years. That gives us a potential total sentence of 1,385 years, plus life without parole. Congratulations, Nami. You just leveled up from cat burglar to international super felon. And remember, we're being generous here. We're not even counting minor infractions like trespassing, harboring fugitives like in episode 98 where she hides Vivi and the rest during the Alabasta conflict, or illegally docking in restricted ports. She probably broke 3 maritime laws just tying the Sunny to a pier. But here's the kicker. Morally, Nami is one of the most principled characters in One Piece. Almost every crime she committed was driven by survival or a desperate need to protect the people she loves. That doesn't fly in court, but it does matter to us. She's the heart of the Straw Hats, the one who grounds them, guides them, and outsmarts everyone around her with wit instead of brute force. Like when she figures out how to navigate the sea train while the rest are fighting like maniacs. So yeah, legally, she's going away for over a millennium, but narratively, she's a genius with a conscience, a criminal mastermind who'd rather con a pirate than hurt a civilian. And honestly, that's why we love her. If justice were based on heart instead of law, Nami wouldn't be in a courtroom. She'd be on a throne. But if you think Nami's rap sheet was bad, check out how long Luffy's prison sentence would be.